Good.
Here we go.
Sound one.
All right on the sound? Won't talk very loud, probably.
All right.
Right then.
Move your paper in your hand out of the way. Yeah,
All
lean
right.
back. Just lean back.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Mick, when did you first become aware of the RUTLES?
I suppose when we were living in Edith Grove, in London. But I'd never heard their records or anything.
You never heard them?
No, until they became like really famous,
You're talking like 1963?
Yeah, really early ones. I mean, I wasn't there in Liverpool. I wasn't aware.
Right.
Cavern.
Right.
I take it that's where they come from.
They come from the Cavern, Rutland.
Yes.
Which is where they come. When did you first get to know?
Well, they came to one of our shows. And they came down with their suits on, straight from a TV show, and they came and just sat and watched us for a while, checked us out.
Were you billed as that?
We were billed as that, yes. We were.
What would it say?
When we get up to Birmingham and it'd say, London's answer to the RUTLES, it would annoy us a bit, but then we saw the sort of stupidity of it all. South versus North battle, it's difficult to remember, especially as it's so long ago.
Right.
How stupid it was,
I mean, were you affected by RUTLE mania?
Well, I think everybody was. I mean, it was just one of those things. I mean, if you were a popular group like we were, we got that kind of thing. I mean, I wasn't personally affected. I mean, I didn't used to run after them, if you know what I mean.
Right.
But I mean, it happened to all the other groups then because it became a fad.
Right. Let's cut it a second.
Sound two.
Mick, when did you first become aware of the RUTLES?
Well, I think the first time we knew the RUTLES existed was when we were living in London, all together. Keith, Brian, and me living in this little flat in Chelsea. And we didn't have anything. We were just playing just a young blues band. And suddenly there were these kids making all this money. And they saw the RUTLES on TV, the RUTLES were doing this, the RUTLES had hit records. So we thought, well, we could do better, if not worse, and make more money or whatever, but we thought it can't be that difficult.
You thought it couldn't be that difficult?
No, it couldn't be.
So that was where, do you have any kind of rivalry between, that's where it started, the rivalry between the Stones and...
Well, there wasn't any real personal rivalry between the RUTLES and the Stones, really. I mean, it was, we were quite, later on, met each other. But even at the beginning, but people liked to make it like that, We were the South answer to the RUTLES, and when we go to Preston, people would boo us, because we weren't from the North, like the RUTLES were, or the South was very proud of us because they at least had got something to combat RUTLES with. So it was all a bit weird then, but we were, it was a long time ago.
Right. You were you went to Shea Stadium.
No, I was at Shea Stadium, when the RUTLES were. That was the first big outdoor concert by a rock band, the RUTLES at Shea Stadium, right?
Right.
So it was an exciting event. I mean, I even rented a helicopter for it, came in, go down, zooming over the crowd, never seen a crowd as big as that for a rock concert before. And ran in, met them before they went on, I think they were nervous, in front of all those people. And there was the drummer, Barry. There was Barry on this 18-foot drum riser swaying in the wind like that. I thought it was going to fall over. We had a good party afterwards.
Did you hear much?
No, nothing at all.
Right, we're going back.
Shea Stadium. Shea Stadium was the first big outdoor rock and roll gig, and the RUTLES were the first band to ever do one of those kind of gigs. So it was so we all came there in a helicopter, sat in the dugout with the RUTLES, arm to arm. They were very nervous, I think, going on this big, huge stadium, right in the middle of the field. And suddenly they run out in the middle of the field, dash out, because there's no one in the middle of the field, everyone's up the sides. Right? So, and then you just look and you can't see anything, just nothing, just four figures out in the middle of that.
Tell us about.
Lean back a little, Eric.
Sorry. Tell us about the Bognor. What happened at the Bognor weekend?
So, well, when we got there, of course, okay. So anyway, we all had to stay together in this.
Go ahead, Nick. Go ahead, start again. I'll change the frame so we can.
All right.
Go ahead.
I'll start it from that part. Anyway, we had a bit of ball tapping. It didn't, nothing much happened, sort of thing. We didn't reach anyone much, and we had to spend the night there, in this sort of youth hostel type place. And I always remember that I was with Marion Faithful at that time, and we only had single beds in the hostelry, so we put Marion and I put the beds together so we could sleep together on the floor. And Nasty came in and said, "Oh, Mick, all you think about is fucking sex, man. We're down here for board tapping, not sex." I don't know, it's a lot of things. I mean, I guess women, really. Women are a great divisive force in the Rutles, I think. In a lot of bands. Not in ours, of course, but in the Rutles, it was a big problem, I think. They all hated each other, punching each other out, the Bigamy sisters, all was. You didn't know which one was which half the time. You know, it was a problem, I think, and it got in the way of the music, which is a pity, because they were still writing great music, even though they weren't on the road anymore.
Right.
I mean, Ruddle's music was still as good, you know, in that period, you know, even though they weren't performing. Sergeant Rutland, I mean, was... Sergeant Rutter.
Let's get it. That was where we're going. Yeah. So I think we've covered. Did you ever go into the Ruttle Floor building in Savile Row?
No, only since they gutted it. It's a great pity because it's a very beautiful 18th century house.
You didn't ever see that they used to have Hell's Angels hanging out in there?
Did they? I wasn't really, you know, part of the Ruttle Empire as such at that point.
Right. Does Keith like the Ruttles?
Yeah, I think Keith liked the Ruttles songs in the beginning. It influenced him a lot more than it did me. I mean, I never used to like them very much, you know. They were, to me, a bit sort of too... dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, you know. But Keith liked that, you know, and it was a quick way to sort of start learning how to write songs.
Why do you think the Ruttles broke up? Do you think they'll ever get back together again? Bit there. It's great.
Okay.
Lovely.